what is your take on, so since you're very involved in the arts, what is your take on 9 to 5 guys versus like an entrepreneur?
Well, I feel like everyone has their purpose.
Mhm.
There's a reason why there are white collar workers and there's a reason why there are blue collar workers. But that doesn't then mean that one needs to be discredited more than the other because one has more money than the other. Money is just an object. If we think about it, it's the time that we have that's worth more than the money that we have. It's just what people are choosing to do with their time. That's what's appealing, in my opinion,
No,
anyways.
no, I'm 100% with you. I've always put time. I've always valued time way above, because that's the only thing we really we don't have the choice to get back is non-renewable. Um, so you say it doesn't really matter about 9 to 5 entrepreneurs. So what is your take on like the concept of a power couple? Like two people large and in charge being together.
I believe that the concept of a modern power couple is different from what I just like to put it like this. I was raised by my grandma, and there's a difference between what a power couple was to her generation, someone who was born in the 1930s. I believe
Mhm,
that's called the silent generation, compared
mhm.
to a woman who, say, is a baby boomer and was perhaps raised to think that she has to be solely independent in that respect. Like I have aunties that they pay their mortgage, their husband has a lesser job than them, and I'm not saying that that then means that their relationship doesn't work.
Right.
It works because they accept their roles. It doesn't then mean that that power balance then is correct. And so I think the modern day concept of a power couple is it's changed significantly over time, let's just say that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like it people the point of, or like my idea of like a power couple is more traditional, too, in that where it's like two people are coming together and completing things, not two completely separate entities coming together. I don't know, it kind of feels like it's a separate thing more so than coming together, but I 100% agree with that. Power couples. Thoughts on marriage? Is that a plan, a goal at any point?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's absolutely a goal. I would like to have children in the future, but I do believe in the union of marriage, and I believe that children ideally should be had inside a marriage. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that. I like that. Do you would you have issues potentially proposing to the man you love?
That's a good question. I would like to be proposed to. I think that would be nice.
No, for sure, for sure, for sure. Why do you say that though?
Okay, I feel like the reason why I say that is because I feel like marriage is given to a woman in that respect. You have to be asked to be married
Right.
because I am going to take your last name. I'm basically part of your family now. So it's almost as though the dating stage was vetting in that respect for a woman to know that you're the right woman to be there by his side. That's something that I've noticed. My grand my grandparents' generation really understood that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of women nowadays understand that.
I think it's just I think this is all a response what we're viewing, or like what we're witnessing right now is a response to like a revolution. You know what I mean? I feel like everyone's trying to adjust and find where they fit in. That's why like shows like this exist. I'm trying to see where everybody really stands. What is just social media and what transcends the internet. You know what I mean? I'm trying to see where we actually fall on this spectrum. Um,
Well, this is why I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you
mm-mm.
there, but
Go
I,
ahead.
this is why I'm so happy that you invited me onto your show because I feel like oftentimes I don't get to really speak my opinions about these matters because there's a big movement of, I'm just going to say it, neo-feminism that dictates that women should be solely independent. All they need is themselves. They don't need any men in their lives. But in if we look at nature, we go to the animal kingdom, the males always protects the females, no matter what the species. So I don't understand why it's any different with us.
Right.
I just, yeah. And then
Grace, I'm with
this could
you.
get very
I'm with
disrespectful for a
you.
lot of people, though.
Grace,
This
I'm
is the
with
thing.
you. I hear you 100%, yo. I'm with you. I just like to sit back and watch it. I want to. This is kind of my contribution to it, but overall, I just want to kind of witness it and see where it all goes. Like, because I'm like I said, I'm with you. I'm in your line of thinking when it comes to all this. So that's interesting to think. Have you ever had a guy? Let me think. How's a better way to ask this? When you're looking through, like, when you're reflecting on past relationships, have you ever considered a guy to be the prize or like the one that got away? Or are you usually the one that considered to be the prize in your relationships?
I have had a relationship like that where I felt as though I wasn't fully equipped as a woman to handle the caliber of man that I had. And I didn't realize until after the relationship that I had actually lost someone who was really good, simply because I couldn't stop acting up, as you would say, because I would talk back to him. And it's just sometimes all men want is a little bit of cooperation. I was raised with my grandparents, as I said before, and my granddad, he was there for me. But I feel like, and I'm sure perhaps you could understand this as a man, because I wasn't his child. He did love me, of course, because I'm his granddaughter, but he couldn't really be a father to me in the same way that my own dad could be.
Right, 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 right.
And I think because there were a couple of issues with my grandparents, just generic domestic arguing and so on, there was a
Mm-hmm.
bit of maybe cool attitude from his part towards my grandma, like he called his love in that respect. And that would have reflected onto me because she brought me to this country. So I would have been like a bit of a, oh, why is she here kind of thing. But like,
Oh, right,
obviously,
right,
my
right.
granddad loved me
Yeah, for sure,
completely.
for
But it's just
sure, for
like, do you
sure.
know what I mean? And
It's
I
just
feel like, sorry, go ahead.
no, please, please. I'm sorry. I guess it's just I get it though. It's the direct relationship. You know what I mean? It's certain things you can only get, certain lessons and certain words, certain actions that will only be received a certain way from a certain person. I understand that completely. I understand that completely. Um,
Yes, and even now I'm forming a better relationship with my dad. I've been forming it over the years, and it makes me realize that it's so valuable having your dad in your life when you're a young lady. It really is.
I
And
agree with that
that's
100%.
taken for granted in the Black community so much. It's quite sad.
It is. It is. I'm actually crafting something right now about exactly that. So it's interesting that you say that, and I agree with you 100%. I actually want your contribution. I hit you up about lending your violin assistance. I haven't turned
Of
it in yet.
course.
I'm actually holding it off. I want you on there, and I want the people to hear this. Like, I want people to hear this convo right now, so they know that this is still happening in real time. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm going to actually send that over to you before this thing ends. I want to actually send this
Of
over to you.
course.
What's your take on breaks? Like, when it comes to a relationship, when it comes to two people being together, maybe being on the outs, rocky, do you think breaks more often than not are detrimental or beneficial um, to those type of relationships that are maybe going through some trials and tribulations?
My personal opinion on breaks are that if you feel like you have to take breaks in the stages leading up to marriage, then I don't necessarily know that it's worth continuing, because the reality is, y- are you dating for marriage, or are you just dating to have mindless sex? Because mindless sex is mindless sex.
Right.
You're just looking to get laid.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
really dating. You date to get married because you look for an end result. So if in that vetting stage you feel as though there's a reason why you want to not be around this person, maybe you don't want to deal with that for the rest of your life. That's how I would look at it.
With marriage, okay, so we'll go back to marriage. Going back to marriage briefly, do you have like a timeline? I know some women kind of set timelines in their heads for how they would kind of like to structure this marriage, this kids, and do you is that something that you also follow?
Well, I have a rough idea of when I would like to be married by and when I
Mhm.
would ideally like to have kids, because I think that it's only right that I prepare for these ideas in my head. I'm 21 years old, so
For sure.
it's
Oh
not that
yeah,
I'm
for sure.
saying I have no time, but it would be nice to start thinking about these things now. So I
Yeah.
would ideally like to be married before I'm 25, and I would ideally like to have my children before I turn 30.
Are you looking at where are you looking? Are you gonna be looking not looking per se, but where would you thinking? Where were you thinking? The States, the UK, Canada?
Oh, I'm not sure about Canada. I don't know if it's contemplating out there. um, I definitely know for certain that I would like my children to be born in the United States and for them to also be United States citizens,
Mhm.
because I do genuinely believe that the United States is the best country in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know any other country that has as many freedoms that are in the Constitution, but that is all up for debate with
Yeah,
many
no,
people.
for sure, for sure. We definitely get it here. We get to it here. That is true in some aspects. Um, what do you got? What do you got going on today? Like,
Tomorrow I have rehearsals, so I have to do a little bit of practicing before bed. I need to quickly eat something because I have my dinner waiting for me on the stove. I'm quite excited.
I love to see it, yo. I love it. Um, where can the people get at you? Where can the people get at you for like uh inquiring services about violin or composing work or anything of that nature?
Well, you can definitely hit me up for now on my Instagram. I am getting my page together as I'm a third year student, so I'm sorting out my website. So all of that will be coming straight through my Instagram at G_Morton. Thank you very much.
No problem. I love it. Y'all love to see it. And I definitely can't wait to collab and get some work in. And I've appreciated this, Grace. We had like some trouble with audio and shit at the beginning. We got through it and it took like an hour. We got through it, no problem, smiles the entire way through, laughs the entire way through, and we got it done. Yo, Grace, I appreciate you so much for taking the time out.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for taking the time out and having me on your platform. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And
Bye.
enjoy that food, man.
Bye. Thank
See
you. God
ya.
bless. Have a lovely
Yeah,
day.
thank you. You too.